The sign reads, Manchester, welcome to Zlatan. And so the jokes poured in. The email account in which Zidane addressed Manchester United was not zlatan@gmail.com, but gmail@zlatan.com. Fantastic. The internet never fails to amaze me, Jason, with their creative
Someone
talents.
put in our comment section, they're very right. The internet is undefeated. They are 82-0.
Yes, they are.
Undoubtedly.
Unbelievable ways of twisting this ego of Zlatan that we all love and enjoy. But it's time to get into a little bit more of a serious discussion. And I alluded to this discussion on Twitter when I tweeted out, to many people's disarray, Zlatan was a good signing. Would I have preferred Higuaín? Absolutely. As a Manchester United fanboy, as some may say, I would prefer Higuaín. But that's just my own preference. Over Zlatan. But that's just my preference. So the first thing we want to throw to is Jason has kindly put into a graphic. Zlatan's trophy cabinet is pretty impressive.
Well, the point of this is that since 2001, he has not gone a full season playing football without getting some form of trophy. Mm-hmm. Now, you can look at some of these and go, well, PSG played in Ligue 1 and nobody had a shot.
Yeah.
Especially last season. But I look back, and of course, they made the note, though, like Juve's were stripped of their titles, but, I mean, match-fixing scandals. Was that what that was in 2004,
yes, it
2005? Was. But still, at the end of the day, he raises a trophy. I think part of it is he played on some super teams, yeah, Barcelona's, PSG's, that obviously had a major effect. But still, I think he'll be successful at Man United for this specific reason. You only need 15 goals to be considered successful in the Premier League. You look at the goal-scoring records. I keep bringing this up. And sometimes the leading goal scorer is 17 goals. Yeah. Zlatan will find a way to put the ball in the back of the net. I think my biggest question for you, though, is we talk about that strikers are supposed to be selfish. Mm-hmm. Ronaldo's selfish quality is part of what makes him great. Does Zlatan need to be selfish in a Ronaldo way, or does he need to do more because he's not going to be the lone striker up top? It's Jose Mourinho, which is a defensively sound team.
But so it's a good question. Zlatan needs to be selfish in the way that he needs to be unselfish, if that makes sense, right? He needs to be selfish in his own game, meaning he needs to score goals, but he needs to be unselfish to his teammates in the way that he needs to not be Zlatan-esque the way he is at times for PSG and he is for Sweden by dropping into the middle of the park and trying to pick up possession because he wants to do Zlatan things, because he wants to score from 30 plus on an overhead kick over Joe Hart.
Because you have, what would it look like? It's Martial on the left?
I think we'll do a clip probably closer to, depending on the signings. I mean, if they bring in Mkhitaryan, it completely changes the dynamic. It
Zlatan,
Martial, and then with Rashford in there, who we know is just, he's blossoming talent. Yeah. He comes on for 6 minutes for England and looks more dangerous than any of the England players. It's Jose Mourinho. I still think he's going to add the defensive midfielder. I still think he's going to add someone in there who is going to be stable, consistently the Matic of 2 seasons ago. And then you never know. He could play a Rooney, a Mata, he could play a Schneidlin, he could bring Schweinsteiger back to form, because if there's anyone that has the ability to do that, it is Jose Mourinho. But it is an interesting question, and I like the reason why we did this clip is I really do like your take on the Premier League. And the reason why is because you weren't blinded by the Premier League. You haven't been raised blinded by a league that everyone holds of the highest standard, when the reality is you cannot criticize a signing of Zlatan's standard, because who else, I keep saying this, which other world-class striker, and I think there's 4 in the world. You say that you don't know, you think there's only like 5 max NBA players who deserve a big contract. I think there's 4 world-class strikers, and that's outside Ronaldo and Messi, because they're not even strikers, they play their own role. There's Luis Suarez, there's Robert Lewandowski, there's Aubameyang, and there's Antoine Griezmann.
And none of those
are available.
Yeah.
Well, Aubameyang, apparently so, but it's going to be a big transfer fee, but the rest of them are in the same category for me. Some are better than the others. Aguero, when he was on form, yes, no doubt. Higuaín, when he scores that amount of goals, has to be considered. Of course. Benzema. There's tons of strikers out there.
There's not that many that do it consistently, and Zlatan's been consistently good at putting the ball in the back of the net for many years. I think what people take out of context sometimes they don't understand is, like, A, we love the Premier League. Francis, of course, too. Because it's an unpredictable league, and because you know going in, look, I can go through the whole list of leagues, but next year PSG is going to win League 1. Oh, what a bold prediction. Next year, Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid are going to win La Liga. Right? We know these things. Bayern's going to win Bundesliga, maybe Dortmund catches them. Like, there's 1 to 2 teams who can win each league. The Premier League, given Leicester City last season, let alone anybody coming into this year, 6, 7, 8 teams are viable to win, and 6, 7, 8 teams are viable to finish top 4. So it's the most exciting league, at least in my opinion, even though the talent is less than that of La Liga. It's less than that of Germany and Spain, other places. So yeah, I think someone like Manchester United brings in a lot of fun. Obviously, it brings in more headlines, more stories for Manchester United, and I don't think it's going to take someone. There was a Twitter poll: will Zlatan score more than 15 goals this season? I'd be shocked if he scored 14 goals by the end of the year. I'd be blown away shocked. I think he scores more than 25 because I think
collectively or in the league?
Collectively, across FA Cup and tournament play, all that stuff. And I say that because, as you just mentioned, it's not like even at 34 years old, I think he is. Yeah. He's probably still the best striker in the Premier League. Yeah, and at least we know he can be, talent-wise.
So, and then the other question, which I think was the substance of this clip, was supposed to be is there going to be another better signing in the Premier League?
Maybe Higuaín,
my opinion is there already is. For Gundogan going to Manchester City, collectively for that team. So, of course, Zlatan is the biggest draw. He is the biggest name that's probably going to come into the Premier League. I would be very surprised if anyone else comes in that's able to tip the man who is ego is the biggest and most impressive in world football. Yeah, for an entertainment side of it, he's the most entertaining signing and he's the biggest signing in the Premier League. As far as a team and their needs, Manchester City have an incredible attacking force of De Bruyne, Aguero, David Silva, but they're missing a centre midfielder who's going to be the heartbeat of that team. And I have watched Gundogan for many years, and yeah, injury plagued him a little bit last season. I think he's a fantastic footballer. And I think collectively for that team and what Pep Guardiola wants to start, he's the most important signing of any of the teams so far. There's still plenty of time in the window. You could still have a Chelsea go out and get a Bonucci. Don't think it's going to happen. But if he does, just because Bonucci isn't of the same entertainment value as Zlatan doesn't mean that I'm going to sit here and be like, well, still Zlatan, can't wait to see him. The reason we're here is to give an honest opinion. I'm not blinded. Just as I'm not blinded by the Premier League, and I understand that the reason why many people are so mad about England losing is because they're still in that bubble. They think because Harry Kane can bang in 20 goals that he should be scoring consistently in the Euros. But we're all blinded by this Premier League facade, so I'm not going to be blinded by Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming in when I think that in order for teams to get to that world-class level, they have to sign players that are going to do the job for that team and are going to take that team to the next level. Far too many teams are at mediocre at the moment. Does Zlatan take Manchester United up a level? Yes. Does he take them back to the standard where Manchester United were back in the early 2000s or late 99, 2000s, or even so with Cristiano Ronaldo's era? No. And it's going to take more.
Sure. There's probably, it's like 11 players on the pitch for your team, 22 guys in the field at the same time. It's really difficult for one player. That's why when you mentioned there's 5 guys maybe in the world that are entire pitch-changing players.
Strikers
at least. Well, strikers, I'd say there's probably maybe, 10 players in the world
10
who are
collectively.
pitch-changing.
Maybe that's a clip.
The entire match, like obviously Messi, Ronaldo, the entire game changes. You know, Zlatan.
Gareth Bale's in that conversation now.
Oh, come on, Wales.
All right, well, we want to know what you guys think. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. We are so close to 300,000 subscribers, and we asked you guys on Twitter.
Wait, no, other way. Wait, no.
There you go.
I need another pound. I need another zero.
Oh, shit, this side. So we are so close. We asked you guys on Twitter, and your response was fantastic. Thanks for the questions. We're going to take questions from Twitter. We're going to take questions from YouTube. So hit us in the comments. Just put your questions in there as well, and we will take as many questions as we possibly can to fit into a long clip.
Speed round.
We'll rattle through them. There's already a couple of questions that Jason already answered on Twitter.
Well, there was one. Somebody goes like, who would win an arm wrestling match? And I was like, I can answer this now. Be Francis, even if I stabbed him in the bicep beforehand.
Let us know what you think. Comment section below. Will Zlatan be the best signing of this Premier League transfer window already? Or is there someone else waiting on the horizon to come up and snatch it from the big Swedes? Big hands, big feet, big things.